the first step in building your automation. So you'll do that here by clicking on any of the Make a SAP buttons in Zapier. Afterwards, what you'll do is you'll start by choosing a trigger app, which is Foleon. And after that, you'll choose a trigger. So we either have a new form submission or a new lead. And I'll briefly explain those right now. So when you're building publications in Foleon, you can either add forms as an element in your page, or you can use the lead generation feature to gate a publication. And I'll show examples of those in a bit. In our case, we're using a form, and we want to connect this form. So we would opt for the new form submission trigger type. And the new lead type, that's something that you could use for a lead generation feature when you gate a publication, like so in this example. But because we're going to connect the form, we'll opt for the new form submission trigger type. After you've done that, you'll need to continue and log into Foleon within the Zapier environment and allow them access to your account. And that basically enables them to get the information that is acquired through the form and allow you to push that to another app. Once you've done that, you'll be able to select the project that you're working on, the specific publication, and the specific form. So in our case, we have our news update. This one was from winter 2018, and we have the news update form in that specific publication. And once you've done that, Zapier will look for samples that you'll use to set up the SAP itself. What would be nice or handy is that you submit the form yourself with some sample data, like so. So you fill it out and you send it, and then you can use this data to set up the SAP. So you'll see that here that I filled in my own email address at the bottom. And then once I go back to Zapier, I can pick that as a sample. And you'll see that it will contain all the information from that form that I just submitted. And you'll use that to set up or you map that out to your CRM or email marketing platform. So we'll do right now. So once you've done this, you're basically done with setting up the trigger app. So you chose the form submission trigger type and you connected it to your Foleon account. Afterwards, you selected your project, your publication, and the form. And you chose a sample to work with. And after this, so basically what we've done now is that we connected the form submission and we made sure that the information gets sent to Zapier. But the last thing that we need to do now is make sure that that information is pushed to HubSpot. So what you'll do then is that you'll select an action app. And you have, well, as I said, thousands of options here, including built-in apps from Zapier themselves. But in our case, we want to opt for HubSpot. So we'll search for HubSpot and we'll choose that particular app. After that, similar to the trigger types in the Foleon app, you will have action triggers that you can choose from. So as you can see, you could do create or update contact, create form submission, or add contact to a list. The options here are different per app that you choose. And in our case, we want to create or update a contact in HubSpot itself. So we'll opt for that option. And once you've done that, you'll also need to connect to HubSpot, but I skipped that in this slide. What you'll do next is that you'll map out the information that you got via the sample to the properties in HubSpot or your CRM in this case. So in our case, we have an email address and some other fields that we got from the sample itself. So we'll connect those to the right properties in HubSpot. So under contact email, we'll pick email address. So every email address that comes in via the form submissions will be sent to this specific property in HubSpot. So this allows you to map out all the information that you get in the form or via the lead generation form to the right fields or properties in your CRM. Once you've done that, you can actually send a test to HubSpot, and it will actually send that specific sample submission that you had chosen earlier to HubSpot. And then in HubSpot, you'll be able to see if the new contact was created or updated, depending on whether or not it already existed, and see if all the information was sent to the right properties. And if that's all okay, and this is basically the test that you'll do, then you can continue and basically turn your SAP on and by giving it a name and turning it on, which will look something like this. And basically that's it. So what we've done now is that from now on, every form submission that we get during in our news update will automatically be sent to HubSpot continuously without us needing to do anything ourselves. So as I said, what we've done, so the new form submission in our news update, the information gets sent to Zapier, and then Zapier pushes that information to HubSpot. And if you want to read more about how this works specifically, we have a full detailed guide And it also contains screenshots and a lot of text explanations on how you work through the different steps.